Welcome back to Pindrop Perspectives. On this week's podcast, Mark and Jen continue their walk in the woods by diving into a story about a man seeking to decrease the suffering others face from Alzheimer's. However, just like other Pindrop stories, not everything is as it seems. That said, I'll turn it over to you, Jen.
Okay, imagine this. You're out walking, trying to get across the country, maybe. Twilight's setting in, it's getting dark, and suddenly you hear this voice, like right there. Yeah. But nobody's around.
Yeah.
What starts as this, ambitious trek just spirals into something really unsettling. We're going to drop you right into that feeling today.
We are. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the story of Jeff Decker. He's this young guy doing this incredibly ambitious walk, Boston to Dallas.
Right.
And his mission, it's super personal. He's trying to raise awareness, raise funds for Alzheimer's research, stem cell technology too. It all comes from watching his own father battle the disease, which, as you can imagine, just took a huge toll on the whole family, especially his mom, Evelyn.
Yeah, that's tough. So for this deep dive, we're looking at excerpts from the short story Whisper, right?
Yeah.
And some context from the author, Thomas Muller.
Exactly. And Muller puts this really central kind of haunting question right out there. He asks, is Jeff descending into madness himself? And that's really the mystery we want to unpack. We'll follow Jeff's journey, look at these really strange encounters he has, and grapple with that question. What is actually happening to him as things get blurry?
Okay.
So yeah, settle in. We'll be your guides through this fascinating, sometimes pretty bizarre story.
Yeah.
We'll dig into the details that make everything so unclear for Jeff, try to connect the dots with you, and think about what it all implies.
Even before the really weird stuff starts, his reason for doing this walk, it hits hard. His dad's Alzheimer's, the description of it, that slow decline from misplacing things sometimes to not being able to concentrate to eventually not even recognizing his own wife, Evelyn, or his kids, Jeff and Amy. Wow.
It's devastating. And Muller really makes you feel that. It's not just backstory. It's the wound, the grief that's pushing Jeff onto this path. This isn't some abstract cause for him.
No, it's deeply personal.
Totally. So when he announces this plan, this 1,800-mile walk, Boston to Dallas, the reactions, well, they're mixed, as you'd expect. His mom, Evelyn, she's crying, but she tells him, your father would be so proud.
Pride and sadness mixed together.
Right. And then his friend, Johnny, he's just like, dude, that's like hundreds of miles. And Jeff's like, yeah, about 1,800.
Understatement.
But then his sister, Amy, she's the practical one. She immediately points out, well, it's not exactly cross-country, listing places like L.A., Seattle, San Diego.
Right, the usual cross-country points.
And she's worried about the practical stuff, like the weather changing at the end of August. It's just so human, that mix of, wow, and are you sure? Be careful.
Yeah, exactly.
But after all the practical points, she just hugs him and whispers, you're doing a good thing. Be careful. I love you. It kind of grounds the whole thing, this huge, crazy quest, but rooted in love.
That's nice. And it even got some media attention.
Yeah, local morning show. They sent their guy, where is Walt Campman, to cover the start. But even that interview has this weird little disconnect.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, Walt seems kind of confused when Jeff says he's going to Dallas, to the Southwestern Medical Center at the University of Texas specifically.
Okay.
Walt pushes back a bit, saying, Dallas is not cross-country. I mean L.A., Seattle.
Oh.
It's subtle, but it's like right from the start, there's this gap between how others see the journey and Jeff's very specific internal goal. Almost foreshadowing, maybe.
Interesting. Like his reality is already slightly off from everyone else's.
Could be. So Jeff sets off, and pretty quickly the isolation hits. He's walking south on this Loomis Road in rural Pennsylvania. He thinks it's a shortcut, gonna cut his trip between Route 17 and Route 220 practically in half.
Famous last words.
Right. Then he hits this unmarked T intersection. It's not on his map, which he notes looks kind of crude. His watch says 6:3 p.m. And then it just hits him. He was very alone, lost. He even yells out, who the fuck am I?
Okay, so he's physically lost, definitely vulnerable. That feels like the perfect setup for something strange to happen.
Exactly. And it does. He hears a voice first.
Yeah.
Then suddenly this large man wearing a black jacket and blue jeans is just there.
Right.
right in front of him. Jeff kind of focuses on the guy's beard, this wild mash of hair, and his piercing blue eyes.
Creepy.
Jeff shows him the map, hoping for directions, and the guy just laughs, like a loud laugh.
Okay, that's not helpful or normal.
Not at all. It feels almost mocking. The man tells him Lewis Road is a hell of a lot longer than the map shows. He points him towards something called the Wickman Trail. Says it's about a mile up the road, just a 5 or so mile hike over the ridge, and it'll drop you out on 220.
A shortcut for the shortcut.
Sort of. But then he adds this chilling bit. Jeff wouldn't make it off this road before dawn. He says the trail's marked by a pair of 4-foot stumps and that the trail itself is clear-cut, easy to follow.
And then? Let me guess.
Poof! Gone. Vanishes.
Right. Okay, so pattern establish. Bizarre encounter, strange advice, sudden disappearance. What does Jeff do?
Well, he starts looking for this trail, but he walks for over an hour. Should have taken maybe 20 minutes based on what the guy said. He's muttering to himself, how could I have missed the trail? And then
Another voice.
another voice, distinctly different. He spins around, and there's this rail-thin younger man. Again, just appears. It's like it says something really odd. Fear keeps a man alert. Complacency is a man's downfall.
Whoa, like some kind of weird proverb dropping out of nowhere.
Right, and apparently his breath reeked heavily of garlic. Super specific detail. And this guy points. Right where Jeff's flashlight beam had just passed, there's the trail entrance with the 2 large stumps.
Okay, so the trail eye's real, but the guides, less sure about them. And does this guy stick around?
Nope. Disappears just as suddenly as the first one.
Of course he does. So Jeff finally finds the trail. What's it like?
It starts out okay, relatively flat, but then it gets progressively steeper. And the woods change. It goes from like oak and maple and stuff to being engulfed in pine. He finds this large fat stone on the trail, sits down for a rest, and then bam, downpour. Out of nowhere.
Just gets weirder and weirder. He has rain gear at least.
Yeah, he pulls out a poncho and shelters under a big pine tree.
Okay.
And this is where Muller gives us this really touching flashback. While Jeff's sitting there in the rain, he remembers being at Fenway Park with his dad years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sitting in the pouring rain, hoping the Red Sox game might restart. And his dad's arm is around him. It's this brief, warm memory of connection, a reminder of, why he's doing this.
A connection to the past right before things get even more disconnected.
Exactly. Because right after this memory, the kind confusion really kicks in. He checks his watch. It reads 8:3 p.m.
Okay.
But he distinctly remembers starting the trail at 9:30 p.m.
Wait, so time went backward.
That's what it looks like. His immediate thought, though, is just, battery must be dying. He rationalizes it.
Yeah, you would, wouldn't you? That's the logical explanation.
Actually, despite the rain getting worse, washing out parts of the trail, and lightning flashing way off on the ridge, he keeps pushing. He's determined to get over that ridge.
He's focused.
Very. Then he slips, falls in the mud, and just as suddenly as it started, the rain stops.
Seriously, okay.
He finds another rock to sit on, a fat rock, seemingly identical to the one earlier, and guess what?
Oh no, encounter number 3.
You got it. A tall man wearing a round straw hat and overalls with a brown coat. This one has a distinct drawl. Jeff asks him, how much longer to 220?
Does he get a straight answer this time?
Not really. The guy just says, a ways, and you ain't over the ridge yet. Super vague.
Hopeful things, mysterious straw hat guy.
But then comes the real mind bender. Jeff checks his watch again.
Banned.
It now reads 8:01 p.m.
It went back again from 8:13.
Yep, time is literally flowing backward on his watch. Okay, that's not a dying battery. That's reality completely breaking down. How does Jeff react to that?
He loses it,
Uh-huh.
understandably. He yells out, what the fuck's going on out here? But the man, naturally, is gone. Jeff's so mad he just leaves his wet, muddy poncho behind on the rock.
I don't blame him. This is getting terrifying. What happens with the weather now? Rain stopped, but...
Oh, it keeps shifting. Impossibly. The clouds get thicker, the air gets colder, and then it starts to snow.
Snow. It was just raining, and it's supposed to be late August.
Exactly. Snowing at an incredible rate. It starts filling up the path. Jeff doesn't have gloves, so he pulls his tube socks over his hands. Resourceful, at least.
Wow. Okay, so now he's freezing, lost, dealing with impossible weather and time shifts. This is turning into a nightmare.
A complete nightmare. And the physical struggle gets intense. He tries to climb this steep, snowy slope, but keeps sliding back down. His backpack feels like a lead weight, so he just ditches it, gets rid of it.
He's shedding everything, his gear, maybe his sanity.
Seems like it. He finds a broken oak branch, uses that to finally haul himself up the slope on the third try. He's utterly exhausted. crawls under a pine tree, shivering, feels his eyes closing, thinks, hopefully not for the last time.
Oh, God. This sounds bad. Does he freeze out there?
Well, he wakes up. But what he wakes up to is maybe the most jarring shift yet.
What is it?
He wakes up to a magnificent day. Sun's bright, clear blue sky, no snow anywhere, and the temperature feels like it's around 70 degrees.
Wait, what? The snow is just gone instantly.
Instantly. And then encounter number 4 appears. A young man in a t-shirt and jeans, wearing sandals.
Sandals, okay.
This guy looks at Jeff, who's still bundled up effectively with socks on his hands, and sarcastically asks about his interesting clothes and missing shoes. When Jeff tries to explain about the snow, the guy just asks, deadpan, snowing.
Oh, that's cruel. It's like the world is gaslighting him.
It really feels like that.
Yeah.
And Jeff's own grip is definitely slipping now. He gets confused about where he's even going. First he says San Diego.
Get San Diego, not Dallas.
Then he corrects himself, no Dallas. He realizes his backpack is gone, his coat, his map, his phone, everything he shed or lost. And like clockwork, the 4th man vanishes.
This is just relentless. What now? Perfect weather lasts.
Nope, the environment attacks again. The temperature skyrockets to near 100 degrees, scorching heat now.
From snow to a heat wave? This is impossible.
Completely. Jeff throws off his coat, forgetting his map and phone in it, then his shirt. He's just down to basics.
And his physical state must be deteriorating rapidly.
Horrifically. His feet are described as swollen and an unnaturally reddish purple. One side is split open and was oozy, a milky pus with a tinge of red.
Oh, that's awful.
He pulls off his boots and socks, probably hoping for relief, but then screams in pain when he tries to walk barefoot. The ground tears them up. They become bloody masses from the stones and sticks.
This is agony, pure physical torture on top of the psychological kind.
And amidst this agony, his identity itself starts to crumble. He starts repeating his name, his background details like he's trying to hold on to them. My name is Jeff Decker. I live at Saltonstall, Boston. I went to UMass.
Oh, man. That sounds chillingly familiar, doesn't it? Like the disease he's walking to fight. Losing your own details.
It's an absolutely terrifying parallel Muller draws.
Yeah.
The memory loss, the confusion, the fragmentation of self.
Yeah.
It's like Jeff is experiencing the very symptoms his father endured.
Is he hallucinating the Alzheimer's itself, in a way? Or is the stress triggering something?
That's the terrifying ambiguity, isn't it? Is it delirium,
Yeah.
grief, or something else? The path itself seems to dissolve, too. At one point, he looks down and the trail wasn't there.
Just vanished.
Just gone. He's struggling up this impossibly steep hill. He can actually see the ridge now, the goal. But as he climbs, he starts hearing voices, a whole chorus of whispers.
Not another guide, but voices. Plural.
Yeah, like echoes of things people have said to him, or maybe his own thoughts. Things like, that's a noble cause, that's amazing, so proud, be careful, hundreds of miles, nice night for a walk, ya lost boy. And then finally that whisper from his sister, I love you.
Wow. All those fragments swirling around him as he makes this final push. It's like his entire journey, his motivations, his fears are all collapsing in on him.
It's the crescendo.
Yeah.
The final assault on his senses, his reality. He finally reaches the top of the ridge. He's staring into the blinding sun. He stretches out his arm and he says, Dad.
Yeah.
And a voice responds, Son.
Whoa. Okay. So what do we make of that? What does that mean?
Well, that brings us right back to Muller's question. Is Jeff descending into madness himself? When you put all the pieces together, it seems hard to argue against it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the disappearing people, the impossible weather, the time going backwards.
Right. His confusion, the memory lapses, the auditory hallucinations, hearing those whispers.
And that chilling repetition of his own name and address, just like
the symptoms of Alzheimer's, the very thing he was fighting against. It really forces you to consider if this physical journey wasn't also, or maybe entirely, a journey into his own mind.
a breakdown brought on by the grief, the trauma, the sheer physical stress, mirroring his father's illness.
It's a deeply unsettling possibility. The lines blur completely. Was his goal a place on a map, or was it this internal collapse? Did he reach Dallas, or did he reach this?
So Jeff's story leaves us hanging with that tension. Was it a physical ordeal he succumbed to, or a psychological one? Or both intertwined?
Exactly. And Whisper, the story, uses these incredibly specific, visceral details. You know, the garlic breath, the bloody feet, the snow, the heat, to pull you right into Jeff's collapsing world. It's compelling, but also deeply disturbing. It really makes you feel the disorientation.
Yeah, it definitely invites you to try and figure out what it all means.
And maybe it makes you think, too, about how much our minds can be affected by extreme stress, both physical and emotional. and what the story might be saying about that connection we have with loved ones, how powerful and sometimes painful it is, even when memory starts to fail.
That's a heavy thought. And that final moment on the ridge? Dad. Son. Real. Imagined. Does it even matter at that point? It's a powerful, ambiguous ending. What does that presence, real or not, signify for Jeff right then?
That's the question, isn't it? What does it mean to find or think you find what you are searching for, even if it's inside your own breaking mind? It leaves you thinking.
That wraps up this week's episode. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed today's deep dive on Whisper, you can read the full story in the novel Four Corners by Thomas Muller, available on Amazon in paperback, hardcover, and Kindle. Until next time, you know the drill. Keep your perspective open. Artificial intelligence was used to assist in generating audio content for this episode.